Like
Well,
this, yeah.
since I didn't mean to cut you off, since we on the topic of head coaching candidates, Eric Bieniemy, the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator, has definitely been a topic of discussion over the last dozen shows.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is the job for him?
All
Man,
right, let me start off real quick.
yeah.
I personally believe if I was him, I would stay. I would wait it out in freaking Kansas City. This guy Andy Reid probably has like a good 2 or 3 more years to go. He's already building that team. You know what I mean? So all he has to do is just step in and take over something that's already being developed. And why start something new when you have something that you built already?
Hmm.
That's how I look at it.
That's interesting.
If
Yeah,
I'm
that's an
Eric,
interesting take,
if
but
I'm
I
Eric
think the
Bieniemy,
opposite.
I'm wondering if the Jets. See, I'm the organizationally. You're already looking at the Jets with the side eye, and on the other eye, you're wondering is Joe Douglas really the guy that's going to build the championship caliber team? Because you also got to look at, I mean, not all head coaching jobs are come ups. I think being offensive coordinator for the Chiefs is actually a better look than being head coach for the New York Jets, quite frankly. So if I'm Bieniemy, man, I'm either waiting out Andy Reid or I'm waiting for a really good opportunity to come up.
Like I said, the other thing with waiting out Andy Reid is you already know how the organization works. So
Mm-hmm.
you already have that advantage of having the chemistry with the front office and the players there already that you helped develop.
Yeah, including
So
the
it's
best player.
So you want
exactly
him to be a Jason Garrett?
no, because Jason Garrett took over a fired head coach. Not really, you know what I mean. So it wasn't a wait out. It was just the guy got thrown out the door, and
I don't even
you're
remember how
next.
Jason Garrett got his job.
Yeah, Wade Phillips got fired in the
Mm.
middle of the season, and he was and then Wade
And
Phillips and he was the interim coach,
Jason
and then
Garrett
they hired
stepped
him
in.
that year. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
he
the
did
interim,
pretty well. That they hired him as a coach.
and then we all know that Jerry Jones gave him birth, and that's how he became
Well,
head coach.
that's how he kept his job, right? Because Jason Garrett basically gave Jerry control over everything.
Pretty much, just like Wade Phillips did.
Right. Just and
Not
it
also don't
yeah.
forget the fact that he ended up marrying somebody in Jason. I mean, excuse me, in Jerry Jones's family too as
Well,
well.
that's always gonna help you keep a job. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna help you keep a job. Marry the boss's daughter.
And you know
Hey,
what's funny though? He got fired from the Cowboys. He got fired from the Cowboys, and when the first game when they played in Arlington, Texas, look, they're all hugging each other. I'm like, okay, see, that tells you there's no love lost between,
who you talking about, Jason Garrett?
yeah, Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones. Yeah, there was
He didn't even get fired though. That wasn't even the
That was a
headline.
very gentle firing.
Yeah, it was a gentle firing.
well, yeah,
'Cause
that just let his contract run out. That's all.
yeah. Well,
We're
I
going to
remember because
mutually.
what happened, like they kept meeting, right? Like they just kept having meetings all the time, and then all of a sudden the contract ran out. They just stopped meeting, and that was it. Just
What
like
you
they just
got,
having
man?
dinner every weekend while as his contract runs out. He let him down real soft.
Yeah. What you got, Banks?
Um, I mean, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. It's up in the air. I like an Eric Bieniemy. I think that Eric Bieniemy should. I mean, I think the opposite. I think what Shake said was a very, very good point. It makes a lot of sense. You should want to. I mean, the dream that would be a dream job for anybody to take over the Kansas City Chiefs because they're not regressing at all. You know what I mean? They seem to really be in tune for the next, I don't know, 5-6 years or so. What it looks like. They have a really young roster. The only issues they will have is probably the offensive line aging, which may be a big problem because Mahomes, will need to, that's the $300 man, I think. So, you want to keep him healthy. So, but yeah, if I'm Airbnb, I would probably leave for the challenge. I wouldn't probably want to stay in Kansas City simply because it'll be looked at like Andy Reid's team in a way. Now I don't know if that would matter, but I think it was more of a challenge if you leave a situation that you're just doing so well in, and then you go to the Jets, one of the teams that are just freaking awful, and they beat the Rams. But anyway, you go to a team that's just awful, and then you end up turning them to perennial Super Bowl contenders. Just imagine that, you know what I'm saying? So I think it'd be more of a fairy tale for him to go to the Jets, but we'll see. I think he should do it. I mean, what does he have to lose? I would go if they could give him some form of guarantee that he can be the coach there. He will get time to fix the issues.
Adam Gase ain't get time. He only got 2 years. So why does he deserve time?
Well, because Adam Gase already had prior coaching experience as a head coach.
Hey, when an organization is trash, you got to build that bug back up.
Yeah, but
you can't just leave it at 2 seasons, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
The Dolphins gave 6 years, 7 years before they made a move on him.
3.
It was 3 years.
All right,
it wasn't even they. And I felt like he would have had another year if him and Stephen Ross would have seen eye to eye.
Man, all I know is more Adam Gase meant possibly no Brian Flores, so I 100% am behind them getting off of Gase. Because, look, man, there's something to be said for multiple people having a look at someone and multiple people immediately moving away from someone. And you could, and I understand the old, what about Bill Belichick? Well, Bill Belichick, number one, was coach for a franchise that is arguably the worst NFL franchise, and the Jets. So it's hard for me to like put that on him because he found like the right situation. But I will say, if there's a situation I'd much rather see Eric Bieniemy go into, it's Houston. You already got a good quarterback down there that you can work with. You're already stamped and certified. You got that Mahomes stamp on you. You got the Andy Reid stamp on you. Deshaun Watson's going to buy in. Once you got buy-in from Deshaun Watson, everyone else is going to fall in line.
I think Houston's a good place too, but again, remember they got that first round pick.
They ain't got no first or second.
Yeah, first or second.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Detroit for a second, but
nope.
They don't have no cap.
They
don't have no cap.
I don't think Bieniemy gets along with Matt Stafford because Stafford can't do what Mahomes can do. Don't get
that's what separates the good coaches from the great coaches, though, Banks. You got to be able to coach any kind of player.
Yeah, but you can tell that Matt Stafford is not his. I don't think that fits his scheme. From what if Bieniemy is the one that's behind this offensive explosion in Kansas City, I don't see Matt Stafford putting up numbers like Mahomes. He's not mobile. He can't.
He don't need to be mobile.
Matthew Stafford.
And he also doesn't have Tyreek Hill either.
Right. I mean, you got
he still puts up numbers, though. He still puts up numbers.
He did pretty good with Megatron. I know that much. And if you look at Matthew Stafford's career numbers, I mean, it's there. Like he ain't no slouch.
That boy can ball.
No,
he ain't no slouch.
I'm not saying Stafford is a slouch. Stafford is the single reason why I picked Detroit to be competitive every year because I know he's a dog. He can ball. All I'm saying is I don't think if it came to scheme wise, he fits Bieniemy's scheme. That's just what I'm saying. That's all. I love Stafford. I love him.
I mean, at the end of the day, a head coach can't coach up a GM. So and we're seeing it right now with the Rams. You can draw up all the pretty plays you want to, but if you ain't got the players, you ain't got the players. So let me just say this: I hate the term quarterback guru. Like I hate the term quarterback whisperer. I hate that term. It's the dumbest term ever. Because every time an offensive-minded coach gets a job, they're like, oh, well, he's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. He'll fix this player. It's the dumbest term ever. Like, players play. Why is Mahomes so great? Because he's got a track team full of dudes to throw to that can actually play wide receiver as well, as opposed to your John Rosses and Jakeem Grants of the world who are track stars. They're highly questionable at the wide receiver position. That's why Patrick Mahomes is so good. You mix that up with that Andy Reid sauce, with a little bit of Eric Bieniemy mixed in, and you got magic. Of course, with Mahomes being the engine that runs all that. So I don't think coaches come along and all of a sudden have this magic seasoning that makes bad organizations good. You know, it's one of those things, man. We still don't. If I was Eric Bieniemy, I'm not taking a job anywhere where the GM doesn't have some sort of a track record. I'm not going out like that. Y'all ain't gonna do me the way y'all did Romeo Crennel. You're not gonna do me the way y'all did Hugh Jackson. I'm not going into the worst possible situation and taking all these licks and taking all these L's while you try to figure out your organization. So if I'm Bieniemy, I'm staying pat until they come across with a good offer.
Yeah, but then it's kind of looking like, well, who is Eric Bieniemy though? I mean, in that instance, who is Eric Bieniemy? You got to
kind of say something real quick after you're done. Go ahead.
No,
I just want to welcome Paul from the On the Fin Sides podcast. He is in the chat. Fin Side? I appreciate you for stopping by and taking time for checking us out, man.
Much respect.
What's up, Paul, man? Definitely got to have you on the show
Paul.
one
The only
day.
problem I have with Paul so far is the fact that he's a Dolphin fan. Other than that, welcome aboard. Welcome to the podcast. Happy New Year to you, brother. Welcome aboard, man.
Man, he's a good guy, dude. Love it.
Oh, if you know you guys, I'm sure he's a good guy. But I don't know. I just kind of got this sense of is Eric Bieniemy end up being the next Adam Gase with just all sauce? Like we just hyping him up so much, and then I mean, I understand what you guys are saying with him staying there. I mean, cause like I said at the beginning of whatever, it makes sense for him to stay in Kansas City. It makes perfect sense for him to stay in Kansas City. But if it's the competitive side of you, if it's just the desire to want to go out and turn something and make something yours, I would move on to another team. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Jets. You brought up a good point with the Texans. The Texans will be a good spot. The only problem with the Texans is you have draft problems. You don't have a first-round pick or a second-round pick. That's disaster. Now you don't have no collateral to move anybody. There's nobody in Houston that anybody wants. The only contract you can move like that would be J.J. Watt. And again, who wants J.J. Watt at this point of his career? I mean, you don't have a lot working for you. So, I mean, the only other squad I can think about that would probably be considerate would be like we said with what was the other team? Did Atlanta find a coach yet?
No,
not yet.
Atlanta would be a good spot.
They got cap issues too. I know you know firsthand they got cap issues.
We know that. We know that firsthand.
They got some aging dudes making a lot of money.
Oh yeah. They're gonna have to come off those contracts. I don't know if you guys. I dare anybody to play Madden and try to find a landing spot for Matt Ryan.
You cannot pay me enough money to play Madden.
You got to get rid of him for a late what? At least a fifth.
Bro, remember they wouldn't even take a draft pick from me. They wouldn't even take a draft pick because his contract was exploded.
Because they sent back talking about trying to move Julio too. So they made the Miami Dolphins a top contender to get them, making sure they get I think it was a first round pick and a third for Julio Jones.